Hey, I'm Poppy Attic. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Or maybe I should say welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of my first ever YouTube video. If you're joining me from part 1, I reviewed these Pretty Legs Lycra pantyhose. They're in a matte tan finish, and now for the try on. If we've never met before, I am a complete nylon nerd. I love the aesthetic of nylons. I love wearing them, styling them, and learning everything about their past, their present, and discussing the future of styling nylons. So these are on, and I'm actually quite surprised. They feel delicate. There's no gusset there whatsoever. It's just seamed. There's a slight bit of reinforcement for the top of the leg, but so far this is really holding up. I always test with a bit of flex to the fabric before I put them on to make sure that I really think there's enough give, because sometimes these vintage pieces can be so delicate, but it's really going on well. And initially it felt coarse, but now it's softening up as I'm warming it up onto my legs. I'd be lying if I didn't want this bit to go perfectly because I'm filming it. I really hope that I don't snag them. There is give there. They are going, they do want to go. You'll notice this end result will be a layered look. I've got some glossy tan, high shine stockings just to protect the base, really, to avoid any unnecessary snagging, to help them glide on like they just did. Again, I have these shorts for modesty and also to help with the gliding on. They look like they're holding up fine. Look at that, there's even pigment, they're very sheer. I like the fact that they feel almost like they're not there on my waist. There's just something really beautiful about low denier, tan and skin tone pantyhose. They are like a second skin. I honestly can't feel them. If you find pantyhose uncomfortable, it's usually because you're wearing the wrong size. Always size up at least once, probably twice. Okay, I'm building confidence to put them through their paces. Oh, I've sat down. They're actually stretching okay. They feel fine. They're not tightening around any of the areas of my upper thigh. They're not cutting into my waistline, and they're definitely feeling like a conventional modern small, although the packet states large in a vintage size large. First impressions of wearing these, they feel beautiful. I'm really impressed by them. They don't have that kind of gritty feeling to them. They're actually really smooth. I keep scanning them for snags, but there really doesn't seem to be too many blemishes on them, which is a miracle because they came out with a cardboard packaging, which can be really rough on storage when you're talking about pantyhose that are 20 years old. They're probably closer to 25 or 30 years old. I thrifted these, and the exterior of the box looked like it had a really hard life. The packaging shows that they're in a medium, large, extra large and top size. So going for a large, I'd definitely say they size up to a small, potentially a small to medium, but definitely no larger. My legs are nearly 3 foot long, so the fact that they've stretched to that expanse, I'm really impressed by them. From the research I've done into this particular brand of Pretty Legs, they are like a drugstore or superstore, grocery store style lycra hosiery. So they're nothing special. They were an everyday piece. I suppose they were almost intended to be occasional wear or almost disposable, but I always look after them and keep their lifespan as long as possible. I've been sat like this for quite a while. Okay, so let's see what impact being on my knees has had. Absolutely nothing. They're still smooth. They're still literally fixed to the silhouette of my leg perfectly. As I'm smoothing them up my leg, there's a slight bit of movement between the two layers, which is really positive. Let's ping test. Elasticity checked. When it comes to the foot section, there is no real way of knowing how that's going to hold up until you place some shoes on. But in terms of the general weave and build of these nylons, they're really impressive. So let's talk styling. This is a very classic nylon. You could dip into any era and complement the two looks together of the leg and the footwear. Unless you're new to my channel, I'm sure you've figured out that I have 2 particular pairs of heels that I absolutely love. They're very different, but they both look really complementary with most of the outfit stylings that I prefer to dress in. So here they are. Side by side, you have a pointed wrap strap stiletto court shoe in satin. And then these ones that I'm holding are a platform, suede style, velvet style, kind of in the middle, platform Mary Jane. The platform Mary Jane gets mixed reviews, but it's so synonymous with the 1960s, and that's a particular era that I adore fashion-wise. So this one here, I would say that it's not very forgiving on nylons around the ankle, but there is some surface damage to these pantyhose already, so I just figure an ankle strap will only make a small impact of a snag on the first wear, and there are already some marks, so I'm kind of prepared to take the risk. These are a low cut stiletto, so they've got the pointed toe, but they'll show a tiny bit of the reinforcement of the toe. I don't mind that. I think it looks quite cute, but it's a preference thing, so if you're not so keen, then probably this wouldn't be the shoe that you would choose. Especially as I've layered the look, there's a double reinforced toe going on there, so I'm just fastening the strap now, and it's so far so good. It's seeming okay. These are shoes that are made very beautifully, so they're usually okay. There we go, that's option number 1, fastened and set in place. It's that little toe peeking through. I do like that, it's cute. These are one of my favourite heels ever. Now for the platforms. These ones are definitely a very comfortable choice. They cover more of the foot area, and the ankle strap is not really even needed to keep them on, but for an aesthetic, it's in keeping with the look to wear them with the ankle strap on. There's a block heel on these, so they are easier to walk in from a stability point of view, but they're definitely the heavier choice. As I said, these are very different shoes and they lend themselves to very different clothing styling, but I do love them both, and I think when you look at the foot and the ankle position in both of them, this style of pantyhose is such a win. Now to stand up with 2 different heights of heels and very different stability on the left and the right. I'm clearly about to ask you which one you prefer. Let's have a look at let me just check that I'm definitely in the view before I carry on. That would be embarrassing. As I said before, I am new to all of this, so bear with me. Okay, so it's time to model these shoes for you. On the right, we have the pointed satin ankle strap court shoe with stiletto heel, and then that left side is the platform Mary Jane with a squared toe, ankle strap and block heel. The right foot offers more delicacy. It's definitely a more arguably feminine look and elongates the leg with the pointed toe. Ankle straps are said to reduce the overall appearance of the leg. Mine are very long, so I'm not sure it does that for me, but definitely the chunkier heel is a different vibe. The overall chunkiness of the platform does lend itself, I think, to a more casual daytime look. So that's it then. That's the pantyhose tried on. I think they're absolutely beautiful and they're a welcomed addition to my collection. I've got the 2 shoes and I'd love to know which ones you would pair with these particular pantyhose. And thank you again for watching one of my longer videos. This is only the second attempt of doing this. If you enjoy what you're watching, please do like, subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you're told when my next longer video goes up. I am beyond grateful for your support and I welcome any comments or feedback.